What's up, everyone? I've got a rematch for you today. This is match number 2 of Phoenix taking on Magneto, trying to win on heroic difficulty. So this is a scenario that I did not win in the first game, so we're trying to run it back with a different lineup and see if we can have a better result. I just finished my series of playing through the Sinister Motives scenarios, and I'm getting ready for the Age of Apocalypse scenarios, but as I thought about the matchups that I want to do, the very first one I want to do is using Nightcrawler, who at the time of recording has not come out or been fully revealed yet. So in the interim, I'm going to take another crack at Magneto with a different aspect this time. So in the first video, we went for Justice because I think Under Surveillance is such an important card to have a chance to win in this matchup. But with Age of Apocalypse coming out, there's a couple new cards that, or really just, I guess, Tempest is an interesting option in aggression to give us a shot, or to give us a way to mitigate kind of the scheming out in the same way that Under Surveillance does. And there's a lot of really high value aggression cards for Phoenix to play. So I did a Magneto scenario breakdown in that first video, so I won't reshoot that, but I'll kind of show here the aggression deck we'll be playing today. So one of the draws to aggression is Psychic Assault. This is a card you can only play if your identity has the psionic trait, but it's a very powerful card, 3 damage to an enemy and confuse that enemy. So if we can't get Under Surveillance, we can at least be sure to confuse Magneto as much as possible, even though he does have a variety of ways to get additional schemes from treacheries in his encounter deck. So Psychic Assault is a nice one to play, doubles up the resources on Power of the Mind. So we're keeping a psionic strategy like we had in the first game. And then we look at the allies. I mean, any try-hard heroic deck, the more consistent and high-powered you want to make it. Good rule of thumb is just play more allies. But in this case, I mean, a lot of these allies are just exceptionally strong. So I really like an Aggression Sunfire, being able to discard Magneto's helmet, or I forget the other one, the one that he can't be stunned, with just a single resource rather than the 3 resources is really valuable. Beak is another one of the newer cards, just another 2-cost ally, so it can block right away, but it has this big interplay effect of being able to remove threat from a scheme. So especially in this aggression deck, we're going to be a little worse at thwarting than we were in the Justice deck. So another really strong ally there for us. Magic, also just really strong in this scenario, being able to erase an entire minion with a single mental resource, while being an X-Men still, of course. Gold Balls is not crazy, but just does a lot of damage. So with all the minions that'll be out, we'll be able to deal them a lot of damage. Tempest, like I mentioned, gives us a little bit of that cushion. You know, if we reach a point where we feel like we're set up and kind of on a trajectory to victory, one of those surprise scheme and counter cards can be the way we lose the game, and so Tempest gives us some insurance against that. I am playing all 10 allies, our X-Men allies, so I really like this for Utopia and for Cerebro. You know, Cerebro, it's already good enough if Cerebro can grab an ally every turn, but when there's such a toolbox of allies to choose from that Cerebro can get, Cerebro goes from like a really good card to just one of the best cards, if not the best card in the whole deck. You know, being able to grab Sunfire if there's one of those attachments in play, grabbing one of our confusers if we need, grabbing Magic if we need to erase a big minion. So aggression really pays us off in the ally spot better than Justice did. I'm playing 1 copy of Attack Training. I'm not super sure about this spot, but it's just such a efficient card. If anything, we're a little overkill on the damage, so we'll see how that one goes, but even giving someone like Psylocke 2 extra health to thwart twice for 2 more, it's just very efficient, and especially if we're using that attack stat, it just gets even more efficient. But the rest is basically the same as the first time. I mean, we've got X-Bunker, Cerebro, Utopia, these really nice supports. Superpower training to help us get mind control at an opportune time is always a really strong thing to do, and build support. Probably to get X-Bunker, but can also get any of these other supports. Phoenix, starting with 3 thwart when she's restrained, can complete either of these with just a single use, so I really like playing those with her. So there we go, let's get into the game. All right, I'll finish shuffling up here and then we'll get started. Talk about the game plan. It's always interesting to think about how fast we want to unleash when we play Phoenix. I still think it's right to just unleash as fast as possible, although I thought about it a little bit more for this deck because this deck should be much better at dealing damage than at thwarting. And so if we stay restrained, then Phoenix has that 3 thwart stat, which is really, really strong. So if we make it to unleash, we might struggle a bit with threat, but I think the cards that we get access to while unleashed are just so good. There's also an argument just to not really try to unleash as fast as or as slow as possible, but just to use those resources as efficiently as possible. That could come up, but I think I'm still willing to take some inefficiencies to unleash faster. Just being able to stun with that telepathic trickery is such a big thing. And when Psychic Blast can hit multiple minions, that's really insane as well. Otherwise, we're looking for, getting a good mind control in one of the early turns is one of the keys that we need to have a chance to win. We do want to draw some of those cards that get powered up when we're unleashed. We want to draw those later in the deck so that we've already unleashed. If we draw both Telepathic Trickery in the opening hand, that's kind of bad because we won't get to play them while unleashed the first time through the deck. All right. So Magneto Stage 2 is revealed. Deal ourselves 1 encounter card. Okay, so I want to definitely keep Superpower Training. It can help us mind control a minion if we draw it on this first turn. Scimitar is just a good setup card, but can probably draw into better. I might keep Beak just because we just really want to make sure we have a blocker for this first turn, and Beak works really well for that. So I think I might ditch the rest to try to find some double resources, or Cerebro is one of the better cards. Yep, we'll do that. Oh, Utopia is nice if we have the resources to play it. Okay, so 1 for Superpower Training, and then it doesn't quite work. We're 1 resource shy to play both Utopia and Beak, which is unfortunate. I could play Utopia and Beak, but then not play Superpower Training, or just hold it in hand for next turn and use a resource from here instead. Yeah, I don't hate just holding it in hand, because I think this is going to be a strong turn. We play both of those. So we'll flip Thwart Boarding Party for 3. So pay 2, not making use of doubling the power of a mind, which is a bummer. Pay 2 for Utopia. Pay 1 power counter plus 1 for Beak. When he enters, remove 1 threat from a scheme for each X-Men ally you control. So we'll just remove it from here. So then we ready Phoenix and thwart Sabotage Master Mold. Always nice to get that done turn 1 just in case we have to go to main scheme 2. So that goes to the victory display, which in my last game I didn't set it up here, but sort of just barely keep it in camera because we do have the X bunker in the deck, which cares about the number of side schemes in the victory display. And then we'll just keep the superpower training in hand. Oh, and I suppose use Beak. We'll attack the Tough off. Yeah. Might as well use him since we're going to block with him. Guess now that I think about it, if I want to thwart superpower training, I don't get to finish this. But it might not matter yet. Okay. So 1 on the main scheme, Magneto attacks, Beak blocks for 3, 4, 5, 6. One magnet counter, and 2 more encounter cards. Okay, another attack. I'm just going to take this one for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Magnet counter. Place 2 additional threat here for each ally in play, so it's just going to be 2. That's nice. And a minion. Okay, so not as bad as that could have been here. So we're going to be able to play superpower training, Sunfire, and I could put attack training onto Sunfire. It doesn't use a resource from Phoenix Force, but I could spend one and keep something in hand. Wish we would have got would have been perfect if we got an attachment to discard with Sunfire. Oh, what am I doing? No, 2 for Sunfire, 1 for that, 1 for this. Okay, I don't know why I thought that wouldn't work. Okay, so we'll start, well, okay. 1 power counter for superpower training. So we'll thwart that for 3. So when defeated, search the deck and discard pile for an identity-specific upgrade and put it in play. So we'll put the mind control in play and take over Delgado. And we'll have a text box treated as blank, so all the retaliate and 1 defeated stuff doesn't matter anymore. Then we'll pay 2 for Sunfire, which allows us to ready Phoenix. And we've got 1 more for attack training. Not the greatest attack training target, but might as well play it. No reason not to play it, really. So now, although their attack is the much better stat, might just want to do some thwarting. We'll definitely clear, actually we could clear magnetically sealed. And it's hard to pass up putting 5 damage into Magneto. Although my experience in this matchup says that we just need to keep things as clear as possible. I think we want to hit Orbital Decay just because it's the only thing with 3 on it and makes use of our full thwart stat there. And so this is almost, if we're assuming we're flipping to Alter Ego, this is going to advance. Oh, flip and reveal that. But just who knows what's going to come out, so I just want to clear this. So they're both thwarting it for 1. Kind of bad, but If we get another scheme out that Phoenix needs to thwart herself, we'll be very happy we did that. And then, yeah, I don't really want to block with either of these guys yet. We're kind of low, so we'll go to scheme 2B, but we'll go to alter ego for the extra hand size and to preserve our allies. Okay, so 1 on the main scheme. Magneto schemes for 1, 2. Ooh, really lucking out there with boost icons of 0. So that does not advance us, but we do give Magneto a tough status and a face down boost card. And then 2 encounter cards. Cannot be stunned. And we cannot thwart, attack, defend, or recover, but we can exhaust and spend a physical to discard that. Honestly, wouldn't have really mind if it did advance, just because it would take us from 2 magnet counters back down to 1. But I think, all things considered, this is still a good outcome. So I definitely need to get rid of this, so we'll exhaust and spend a physical to get rid of that. Otherwise, we can't do much of anything. Flip to hero form. So I'm looking to play Tempest here. Tempest lets me ready Phoenix. I can play build support and get something with that. Or actually, I probably just need to thwart the main scheme. So pay 1 power counter for build support. So things I could get would be the X bunker is probably the best thing to get. We're going to be up to 3 side schemes in the victory display. We've already got Utopia out. White Hot Room is a nice one, but I think X bunker is a little better. So we'll pay 2 for Tempest. Ready up Phoenix. Definitely need to thwart this for at least 1. Might as well Psychic Blast here, but I'll probably hit the tough off first. So let's hit the tough off with Tempest. Tempest has a good ability, but at this stage in the game where we're still on main scheme 1, these allies still have some health points to use. Probably just going to block with Tempest here coming up. So then I'll pay 2 using Power of the Mind to double up the resources here on Psychic Blast, dealing 4 to Magneto. And now because I feel like I mean, if I clear build support, I'm not going to get something that's used this turn, because White Hot Room and X Bunker are both alter ego actions, so if I just wait till next turn, I don't really lose anything. Yeah, I'd talk myself into it. I'll thwart the main scheme. And then these guys kind of don't hate thwarting this for 1 again. If Magneto gets an advance, you would need a boost card with at least 2 boost icons to go past it, as opposed to just 1 if we don't thwart it. Actually, that doesn't sound great to me, so we'll just attack with both. So there's going to be an attack for 5. Sunfire is buffed by 1. Delgado is 2. So attack Magneto for a total of 5. Well, at least compared to my leadership game, we've already done significantly more damage to Magneto, which I suppose makes sense in our aggression deck. Okay, there's the X bunker there, but we can always just use it as a resource to get it in the discard where build support can still grab it. Okay, 1 on the main scheme. Tempest will block Magneto's attack, coming in for 4, 5, 6, 7. We are going to go up to 3 magnet counters. So we discard until we discard a magnetic card, which we then reveal. Magneto cannot be confused. Wish we had Sunfire now. And then we remove those 3 counters and our normal 2 cards. M-type Sentinel, and let's see, okay. So we're not unleashed yet, so it's not as bad as it could be. Since we have the Restrain trait, we remove 1 power counter from Phoenix, and this gains Surge. So we lost our 3 thwart there, so maybe it was a mistake not to clear build support. So we lose our power counter, so we become unleashed, and then that surges. Deal 1 damage to each character you control, place 1 magnet counter on the main scheme. Okay. So Sunfire has 4 total hit points, so he has only 1 health left. So I could play Gold Balls plus, well, Gold Balls would give me enough to clear the M-type Sentinel without using up Sunfire. Also, Phoenix is at 3 attack now, so actually I probably just attack with Phoenix and Delgado. But might do some thwarting. Now Professor X could thwart to clear build support, but there's not a great use of his forced response right now. Because I can't confuse Magneto. Utopia will already ready Phoenix. And then if he's not blocking this turn, it does feel like kind of a waste. But I could potentially just not go to alter ego form, but that feels kind of bad. There's really no rush to actually, there's no rush to clear that. We'll just clear it if it's the best thing for us to do. Yeah, we have no extra resources there, which is a bummer. So if I go 3 for Professor X, well, if I play X Bunker, and Alter Ego to draw a card, then I'd have the resources for Professor X. But then I don't even get Utopia out of that, so it's really all Professor X is doing there is thwarting for 3, which feels just really inefficient. Yeah, this is kind of an awkward turn. If I could, it would be nice to recover this turn to get a resource from power counter. There's also Cerebro. Well, that doesn't really change anything. Okay, yeah, sorry for the wait. It's a lot harder when there's not a obvious efficient turn to make. Let's So I'm thinking of just playing both of these. Just really setting up here. And not playing an X-Men. But I do like how that sets me up. So we're going to attack M-type Sentinel for 5. Which gives Magneto a tough. Not going to use Sunfire here just because I want to use that last health point to block if we can. So flip to Alter Ego. Pay 2 for X Bunker. Use it, so we'll look at the top 2 and add 1 to hand. All right, so whichever we take here is just going to be used as a resource, so I think I'd rather keep Magic in the deck as an X-Men to ready our hero with. I'll pay 2 for White Hot Room. Just checking if there's any supports I'm forgetting about. And I think Cerebro is the last one. And then I'll use White Hot Room. Do I want to heal or get a power counter? I kind of like a power counter right now. Because I really want to recover with Jean next turn, which gives me 3 resources and 1 power counter. I'm going to heal 2. Okay. So I didn't say it, but yeah, obviously conceding that we'll go to main scheme 2 here, but that's fine. So Magneto schemes for 1, 2, 3, plus give him a tough and a face down boost. So that advances. So if Sabotage Master Mold were not in the victory split display, we'd get some bad stuff. As it is, this comes in with 1 magnet counter. And hopefully he doesn't scheme again. That would be bad news. All right, he's got all 3 of his attachments. And we got a minion. So I like seeing the minion there because we did draw magic. And magic deals with minions very efficiently. So I definitely have a window to recover here then. Recover for 3, get a power counter. I guess I should have done this first for information, but use X Bunker. I mean, Trickery's not so good right now because we don't get to stun and confuse. Phoenix Suit's just not a great card. But I'll keep Trickery in the deck because we might need to thwart a side scheme next turn, maybe. And then with White Hot Room, now this time I'll definitely add a power counter. Always nice to go into hero form with at least 2 power counters on here so that we can use one this turn and have one for next hero phase. So now if I do magic, spend a mental, that gives me just the right amount to discard one of these attachments from Magneto, which I think I like over, over playing the Phoenix suit, for example. So let's pay 3 for magic. Magic enters, we spend a mental resource, shuffle a non-elite minion engaged with an X-Men hero into the encounter deck. And that's an X-Men, so we'll ready Phoenix. So now, probably just want to save my power counters because there's no reason to want to speed through them like there was when we were trying to unleash. So because I can act efficiently from hand here, probably won't spend one of these. One option, I guess, is I could cash in Sunfire and add Cyclops to the board instead of getting rid of one of these. But I think I've got a window to clear one of these, so because we definitely will be needing to confuse Magneto in the game plan. So, yep, we'll just do that. The attack does just go into the tough, but I don't really want to use up an ally because Magneto currently has Retaliate. Yep. So we'll attack Magneto, which just hits off the tough. We get retaliated at for 1. Then after we make a basic attack, we spend 1 of each resource. I'll discard the helmet from play. Now do I want to thwart that main scheme for 1? Both advances are still in the deck. I kind of like how if I thwart it for 1, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna thwart it for 1. So now that opens up Delgado, or it uses that last hit point in case Delgado needs to emergency block. And hopefully gets mind control back in the discard pile for the next time through the deck. I'm realizing some of my sleeves seem slightly different from others. Some are smooth, some are not. Okay, never mind. They're like the exact same shade though. I'm sure they came out of the same pack. But this sleeve is really smooth, and these have a textured surface. Not sure what went on there. Okay. All right. So 1 on the main scheme. Magneto attacks. Sunfire blocks. So it comes in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Magna counter. 2 encounter cards. Minion. And another attack, so there we go. Now, honestly, this one, This one would not be... Okay, I was going to say it would not be crazy to take it, but we're at 7, so I guess it would be crazy. So block with Delgado. Well, turns out it wouldn't have been so bad because of 0 boost icons. So once again, we don't trigger that when defeated because its text box is treated as blank from mind control. But that attack will put a 3rd magnet counter on the main scheme, and we'll discard until we hit a magnetic. Not one we like to see. I mean, there's not many we do like to see. So exhaust each upgrade and support you control. Place 1 magnet counter on the main scheme. And I think I said this in my, well, actually I didn't actually put a scenario breakdown in here, but kind of as written, we should actually trigger this forced response again because we've put a magnet counter on and there's at least 3 magnet counters, but that's just total bogus to me. So I think other people play this way as well, but you know, the magnetic we're revealing from this is this. We're gonna do that, remove 3, and then put 1 more on. If that's horribly breaking the rules in your eyes, then feel free to judge me, but that's total bogus if this triggers an additional magnetic card. So, all right, we don't like to see everything tapped there. Might be a good opportunity to confuse Magneto this turn. So if I can play Triage, then I can attack the minion with all 3 characters, which will clear it. That leaves me enough to still play Psychic Assault. Yeah, I think that's about as good as I can do. There's a world where I don't clear the minion. It's probably not right. That would let me play... Yeah, maybe I need to think a little more about playing Cerebro because Cerebro's just so nice to have in play. It does mean I think we will completely run out of things for build support to get. I really want to grab Sunfire next turn, help discard this. Or any number of allies, which will be reshuffled into the deck. Now, man, I just like keeping this clear, though. Pay 1 for Cerebro. Well, I don't even know if I have an ally left to get right now. Yeah, I'm going to pass on Cerebro, which feels kind of bad, but I like getting another ally in play, and I mean, I like the turn we have outside of just not playing Cerebro. So spend 2 for... I'm going to spend 2 for Triage. Do I want to use Magic first because I want to heal Magic, or do I want to heal 2 off of Phoenix? I think Magic's probably got a block here pretty soon anyways, so I'll pay 2 to Triage, heal 2 on Phoenix. So then Triage will knock off the Tough. Magic attacks for 2, Phoenix attacks for 3. When defeated, we give the villain a Tough status. Oh, maybe, okay, I wasn't thinking about that. Before I go and do all that, I'll pay 2 for my Psychic Assault first. So that'll deal 3 damage, which goes on here. We'll retaliate 1. Then I'll kill Unusioni. And most importantly, be confused, and then flip down to Alter Ego. So it could be a tough turn here. We are going to deplete the player deck as well, so we'll get an extra encounter card. I think we're doing about as well as could be hoped here. That early, it really shows you how good that early mind control is. And I'm definitely liking an aggression here, the damage output, being able to deal with these minions, which there are quite a bit of minions in this scenario. Haven't really hit that many side schemes, so our lack of thwarting hasn't been felt too strongly. At some point we'll draw Sunfire here to get rid of Magneto's armor if we don't Cerebro for it first. All right, 1 on the main scheme. Magneto is confused. And we get 2 more encounter cards. Surges. Exhaustion, surges. No sentinels in play, so that's going to surge. Yep, Magneto activates again. The topmost magnetic card in the discard pile is given to him as a face-down boost card. But then he schemes for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which does advance, unfortunately. Man, even when you confuse him, it's still a risk. So we do already have physical strain attached, so we don't worry about the extra text there. But this comes in with 2 magnet counters. Okay, exhaust each upgrade and support again. Another magnet counter, which does trigger. Well, at least we go past Shadow of the Past. Okay, so we'll reveal Magnetic Missile. And that's going to surge on us. Should these be removed yet? Well, it only matters if we draw the Electric Shock card. So let's think about it a little harder. Reveal that card, then remove 3 magnet counters here. I'm going to say we revealed it. No, I don't know. I think he finished resolving it. Grim rule anyways, so we'll say that we resolve the what we surged into here. So we're confused and place 1 threat on the main scheme for each magnet counter on it, which is 3. This, I'm certain, if this gets revealed as our magnetic card, I know we certainly treat it as 3. Reveal that card, then remove 3 magnet counters. Yeah, I think the surging is just, we finish the reveal and everything that triggers from that, then we remove the 3. Okay. And now that we're exhausted and confused, we finally get our side scheme. Although this one isn't too bad going into hero form this turn. All right, that was pretty bad punch. So we do have Phoenix Firebird to ready. Phoenix Suit, unfortunately, we're only steady while restrained, so can't use that as a sort of workaround for this confused status. So I pay 1 for Phoenix Firebird to ready. Then I've got 2 for Telepathic Assault. That does let me just fit in Cerebro here. So I think now I might officially give up on build support. Does my turn look any different if I use Cerebro this turn? Because I could get Professor X instead of Telepathic Trickery, which I actually... Do have to keep an eye on this main scheme as well, because the main scheme might just finish if I'm not careful. Get Professor X, pay 3 for Professor X. Could use this resource to play one of these 2-cost cards. So I could use Professor X to ready Jean. Could still play Telepathic Trickery to thwart that and finish it off, which would confuse Magneto. Or I can just Telepathic Trickery the main scheme. All right, I like this. Pay 1 for Cerebro. Activate Cerebro, probably getting Professor X. I mean, Sunfire will be good eventually, but... Oh, do I just get Sunfire because then Telepathic Trickery will confuse... Or will stun Magneto as well. So, don't know if I have the resources to do all of that, though. If I pay 2 for Sunfire, I need to pay an energy, then I don't have a chance to remove my confusion and play Telepathic Trickery. So, okay. Still just get Professor X here, most likely. What does Beak do for me? Because Beak could remove 3 threat from a scheme as well. I think Professor X is better. Beak would let me save this power counter. And I like this. And I wonder how it would have been different here if I had just thwarted this when I had the better opportunity. So flip to hero form. Pay 3 for Professor X. When he enters, we'll ready an X-Men character. So then I'll thwart to remove the confusion. Pay 1 power counter and 1 more for telepathic trickery. I guess targeting, yeah, I'm just targeting magnetic mayhem. The thing I kind of like about it, I mean, it would be nice to not have to deal with the acceleration icon here, but it's nice that we're triggering this when there's less than 4 cards left in the encounter deck. So relatively few magnet counters are going to get put on. We're going to want to clear this eventually anyways because we don't want it. I don't mind it boosting Magneto's attacks, but we definitely don't want it boosting Magneto's schemes. So I'll just hit this for 4. So we discard the top 4 cards of the encounter deck. Place 1 magnet counter on the main scheme for each magnetic card discarded this way, so that'll be 1. And I always screw up kind of what gets reshuffled back. I feel like these obviously get reshuffled back. Could be one of those things where this doesn't actually get shuffled back because the when defeated is happening. I might be overthinking it here. I think this doesn't get shuffled back. It's not a significant enough thing to invalidate this game, in my opinion, if we end up winning. But and that confuses Magneto as well, since we are unleashed. So definitely just been treading water the last couple turns. If we get a turn of just some nice encounter cards. I mean, I guess we're pretty much as developed as we're gonna get. I've got all of my supports out. Still got Scimitar, I guess. So I guess it's tread water where we can, or tread water but push damage when we can, and man, that'll be such a slog, but that's what we're doing. Professor X thwarts the main scheme for 3. I've got 2 blockers on 1 health, so I might as well just save magic. He's confused in case he draws in advance, so I don't feel a dire need to remove 1 threat there. All right, would love to play Sunfire here to get rid of that Magneto's armor. Kind of a clunky hand. Hopefully we get access to our resource generating cards to make it a little better. So now we put 2 on the main scheme because of the acceleration. Magneto attacks, Professor X blocks, coming in for 4, 5, 6. Magnet counter. And only 2 encounter cards for the first time in a while. All right, hero form, so we're stunned. Take 1 damage for each magnet counter on the main scheme. That's going to be 2 damage. And M-type Sentinel. All right, that's the type of turn I was hoping for, because all things considered, that was not that bad. All right, so if I play Sunfire, that takes up 3 resources from hand. Now I do have Cerebro and X-Bunker, so there's a good chance I can draw into some other 2-cost card. And actually Sunfire, oh, here we go. So Sunfire is not a hero response. We choose an attachment with the text hero action or hero response to discard, but nothing says that we have to be a hero or be an X-Men to trigger Sunfire's ability. So because of the resources from Cerebro and X-Bunker, I can actually play one of these 2-cost cards. So, okay. Well, there's no way to line it up to play Trickery to stun and Sunfire. Psychic Blast would help deal with the M-type Sentinel. And it is not an attack, although I'll probably exhaust to get rid of this stun anyways. I don't hate Trickery just to thwart either, because like we've got plenty of damage to deal with this Sentinel. Yeah, I think Trickery is the best play actually. I just don't get to apply a status. So if I play Trickery on the main scheme. Okay, well, I'm definitely going to attack to remove stun. But I need to play Sunfire in hero form to make use of Utopia. So either I play 2 cards and don't use Utopia, or I play Sunfire and just hope to X-Bunker or Cerebro and do another 2-cost card to play. Oh, I have an additional ally slot because all of my allies are X-Men. So I could Cerebro for Beak and use that to clear a bunch of threat off of the main scheme. I like the sound of that a lot. So I'm going to pay 2 for Sunfire, spend a energy resource from hand to discard Magneto's armor, which has a hero response. Using Utopia to ready Phoenix. So I want to recover here to get a power counter, so we'll just let the allies take care of the M-type Sentinel. So flip to Alter Ego. Use Cerebro. Not forgetting any other 2-cost allies, I don't think. Oh, Tempest? Well, Tempest is interesting, but I've already sort of committed to this because I need to keep the main scheme low. Well, the whole point of keeping the main scheme low is, playing Tempest accomplishes the same thing that keeping the main scheme low accomplishes. Sorry, I'm just... My nightmare is to actually win, but realize I messed up. I missed a Magna counter somewhere, which influences the outcome hugely. I think it's too good just to get beak here. So the thing is, when we defeat M-type Sentinel, Magneto's going to get an extra boost card. No, sorry, I'm reading his boost ability. Yeah, man, Tempest though. So if this goes to 5, we lose 2 Electric Shock. Yeah, but we probably lose to Master of Magnetism if we don't get Tempest. We've already seen 1 Electric Shock. I'm gonna get Beak. Yeah, let's stick with Beak. Thing is with Tempest, we get another encounter card anyways. Might just scheme twice. Then we'll X-Bunker, draw a card that'll probably just be used as a resource. Probably just want to keep the X-Men in the deck because of Utopia and Cerebro. Although the Shield is a nice utility. I think we've got several X-Men still in. Well, yeah, I'm gonna keep Shield in the deck. Okay, then we'll pay 2 for Beak. Again, we have an extra slot because all of our allies have the X-Men trait. And then we'll remove 1 threat from a scheme for each X-Men we control. And the wording on this is it reads as you might be able to pick 4 different schemes, but you just pick 1 scheme and you can remove 1 threat from there for each. So we'll just clear off the main scheme. And then here's 5 damage going into M-type Sentinel, which gives Magneto a tough, which he's already got. And Triage will just hang out. Oh, and recover for 3. And we're at full health, so White Hot Room might as well get another power counter. So that was definitely a positive turn in terms of what we accomplished versus what the encounter deck accomplished. But things can always turn. Are you kidding me? Look at this hand. Guess we'll be getting Psylocke with Cerebro. Oh my goodness. Well, this is where X-Bunker and Cerebro are nice because it gives us places to spend all these resources. But that is a crazy. Even just to have 3 in hand, but to draw the first 3 cards off the deck. Okay, so 2 on the main scheme. Magneto is confused. Another turn with only 2 encounter cards. And right as I say that, we will be getting another. This is very bad development given this hand. So we'll place a 3rd magnet counter here, which triggers the forced response. Okay, metal shards. Deal 1 damage to each character you control. So that'll kill triage, magic, or that'll kill everybody. And then place 1 magnet counter on the main scheme. Surge. Magneto schemes for 1, 2, 3, 4. Still alive. But, geez Louise. That's Magneto for you. Well, an easy turn then. We'll be playing both of these allies. Flip to hero form. And here comes Legion. Here comes Tempest. So I think we just want to thwart this main scheme. For 1, discard the top card of the deck. It is a Fist, which heals 2 from Legion, which does occur before the consequential, so pretty unlucky there. We need to thwart for 1 more here to not have it lose the game on step 1. Feels pretty bad to just thwart, or to just attack the tough off and get retaliated. So let's just thwart another 1 on the main scheme. And I think, do I keep the power of the mind in hand? I mean, Psylocke would be a nice draw here. So we haven't drawn her yet. Yeah, I'm going to keep it in hand. All right. Or Psychic Assault. There's Psylocke. All right, 2 on the main scheme. So Magneto's going to attack. I think I'm going to take this one because I don't want to block with Legion. He's still got some uses left. Tempest is going to have a really nice ability when we flip down to Alter Ego next turn and we're at full health. I'm just going to take this one for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And magnet counter. 2 in counter cards. Okay, each Acolyte minion gains guard, and there's an Acolyte minion. All right, would really love to discard a mental resource with Legion here. So probably just do that, probably just do that first. Don't plan too much, because just see what comes out of this. So thwarting the Acolytes for 1, discarding a mental. So remove 2 threat from a scheme. We'll definitely hit this. So as I said, would love to keep Tempest around. One way or another, we're going to end up confusing Magneto here. Same conundrum as before, where it's really nice to play allies in Alter Ego because we can get extra resources from Cerebro and X-Bunker, but I don't get to use Utopia if I play an ally in Alter Ego. Could Utopia Legion? Hope we hit a physical. That seems pretty bad. need to thwart this for at least one at some point. So, okay, what allies might I get with Cerebro to play an alter ego? We've still got Cyclops. I think Cyclops might be the last one. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I'm playing 10 allies. So, I mean, Cyclops is a good play. Okay, so if I play Psylocke for 1, 2, 3, 4. I could still play Cyclops and Alter Ego. That gets me a Confuse from Psylocke. I can kill Amelia with Phoenix attack plus Cyclops attack. But that leaves threat on the main scheme. I could ready Legion with Utopia though, or no. Oh, I just use my extra ready. Okay, yeah, I like this here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, slow down. I want to exhaust first, so let's attack Amelia for 3. Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for Psylocke. Ready Phoenix. Thwart this for 1, because I'm going to get confused when Amelia is defeated. I guess, well, okay. Playing Cyclops in Alter Ego anyways. Psylocke attacks Magneto. So the interrupt is going to deal 1 damage and confuse. And then 1 damage from the attack is going to go into the bubble. It does retaliate onto Psylocke. Alter Ego, Cerebro. Yep, it was just Cyclops. But we will draw Mind Control next turn. Actually, Amelia would have been a great... It's too late now, but Amelia would have been a great minion to Mind Control with the 2 scheme. But not going to have enough resources. Okay, then X Bunker. Definitely keep Mind Control in the deck. I'm not going to shuffle since we're going to draw every card in the deck. And then still with our +1 hand, or +1 ally limit, play Cyclops for 3. Give us 2 power counters. Cyclops finishes off Amelia. We become confused. White Hat Room, heal us for 2. And end the turn. So with Tempest active, we've got a little bit of a safety valve from losing on this spot. But of course, the barrage of encounter cards we can get is still can be very bad. So running out the deck, dealing an encounter card. All right. 2 on the main scheme brings us to 6 out of 7. Magneto's confused. And 3 total encounter cards. All right, so since we're unleashed, this is going to give us Dark Phoenix. And when Dark Phoenix is revealed, we get Consume the World. So we cannot mind control Dark Phoenix, of course. But this does not shuffle in the Fiery Rage Treacheries. Oh, and this gets removed from the game. But still pretty bad to contend with. All right, so Magneto is going to activate against us, so we do need to trigger Tempest. So we'll cancel that activation and get a different face-down encounter card. So, okay, take the topmost magnetic card. I think we still give Magneto his boost card here. We don't cancel the entire, because we give him the boost card, then Magneto activates. So we do a sentence by sentence, but when he would activate, we cancel that with the Tempest. All right, resolve the when defeated abilities of Acolytes, but since we're not engaged with any, we discard until we reveal a minion. Which does give us something to mind control, although this is the worst one to mind control, so that's unlucky. And okay, that one is mind controllable, but this has teamwork. So I forget which one activates, but it's going to put 1 threat on the main scheme, which does cause us to scheme out. So honestly, like the first game, I'm kind of stoked that I even made it this far. I think the aggression cards were really strong. Psychic Assault didn't look as great as I thought it would be. Just because the actual damage part of that into Magneto is hard to be relevant, especially with that bubble active. And we've got a decent amount of ways to confuse, given the telepathic trickery, the Psylocke, and Professor X. So there might be an upgrade I can make by swapping out these Psychic Assaults. But I thought that was a really good run. I mean, this turn we would have had, even if we hadn't barely lost there, we're in a bad spot with Dark Phoenix on the board. I guess we have Telekinetic Attack. I mean, we could have made some stuff happen there. Who knows what would have happened, but even still, we did all this work, and we've done a grand total of 9 damage onto Magneto, with more acceleration counters coming, more extra encounter cards from Magnet counters. So yeah, well, I'll wrap it up there. Thanks for watching. I think... yeah, I mean, like I said in the intro here, kind of using this as a holdover until I start my Age of Apocalypse scenarios. But when that's done, or if I get a break, we'll revisit this matchup. We'll keep trying. I think I still really like Phoenix as a hero to go against Magneto, because of that 3 thwart in the early game is just really hard to pass that up. But maybe Psylocke as a hero also has 3 thwart in the early game, so maybe there's a Psylocke deck we could try down the road. But also, I've put so many games in with Phoenix at this point that I kind of want to get there with Phoenix. And you know, if I hold myself to using heroes from the same wave as the scenarios, that does limit me to Phoenix as well. But anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know any suggestions for what might improve this matchup, or if you try this yourself, see how far we can get. I think it's a really fun challenge, and I'm glad there's at least one that's kind of so hard that I need multiple attempts at it, even though I've had some pretty good success in my other videos. So yeah, there we go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon with Age of Apocalypse.